Hello everyone. So this is something I personally have been wanting to do for a while. I want to kind of do a personal VOD review of my gameplay over the past, for the past VYOT that just occurred. I'm going into this blind. I haven't really reviewed the games beforehand. Obviously I know how the games went, but what I wanted to do is kind of show a way of how to kind of VOD review your own games, look and see what's going on in the games, as well as kind of talk about general roles that warriors play on teams and discuss how I viewed the game going into that role. So for me, we were Morgoth's Feet Picks, a great name. I played only on Skulls, so for this first match we'll be looking at Gold Skulls. And for my role in the team comp, I was playing more the safe, kind of vanilla warrior. My goal was to help facilitate, get everybody else out, be the kind of the anchor, also help guard Snail a little bit here and there, so you're going to see me kind of clear the Snail and do all that kind of stuff. If I do get speed, I will maybe transition into a different type of role, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, so what I like to do is kind of just watch the game throughout the thing, kind of collect some first thoughts, and then I'll go back and go through and talk about individual plays and individual things that happen. So let's go ahead and start. So I'll day map getting up on our safe gate. So yeah, I'm just watching my gameplay right now, and I'll talk about what happens as we go through. Alrighty, so yeah, we lose that first game, and we'll go and I'll talk about my warrior play as well as some of my drone plays and all that kind of stuff. So honestly, I think we did pretty well in this open here. We have our guy getting out mid, I'm coming out safe, we got speed, and we do the pathing here. I'm pathing up here because I know we got someone out mid, so we were able to push that advantage right. And I'm now positioned on the left of the queen to kind of help prevent the queen from going down and kind of preventing from art form over here. Now I'm trying to do a little bit more facilitating, trying to get this guy out here. It's a little difficult, and I barely make a tech flub there. I think had I tapped a little bit higher, I would have gotten the kill there. But you know, it happens. And I think, positionally, I think I made a couple mistakes here. I think going low here, I didn't need to do that. It probably would have been better to sit up here to kind of prevent the queen from really like forcing the dive down. Instead, I kind of dived down and put myself in a pincer, which I luckily escaped, and I probably could have gotten a queen kill there, but I did not expect the queen to also dive like that. Instead, it probably, again, would have been better to be up here. When queen dives, we kind of follow the head. But my distraction does allow us to get that warrior out, which I think is also a positive thing. So it's not overall, I think, a horrible play to be making. So here I see very easy to get out. Having the safe kind of anchor warrior, if you can find very quick recovery paths, you'll be very good. So here, very first thing, you know, you can see 2 warriors in the tunnel. These 2 warriors here. Queen is here. So I'm either going to be pathing to this gate or this gate based on what the queen is doing. I see the queen is pushing our queen, so you can see I did go right a little bit, but I see that I probably can get out on this gate, and I do. There is an argument maybe instead for me to have gone and got speed, but I think the big thing here is that they were running a full mill open, and I think when you're going against that kind of full mill open, what you want to focus on is still keeping warrior presence in the map, because the idea is full mill into a wipe into dominance for that full mill open. So that's why I kind of opted to become a vanilla warrior really quickly right off the gate, so that way we still have some military presence. And we get a nice kill here, which kind of evens up the warriors anyways. Alright, so we get out. I see a potential pincer with checks here, so I'm going to push for it. I could have gotten pincer too, but Stripes did leave. I don't think either play was bad from either person. Like, I think had checks side Jade correctly, I think we would get the kill. And had Stripes, you know, instead of this motion, had Stripes pushed again, I would have died. It's just, you know, hard predictions. So now here, we kind of want to gain that snail control, right? We're 3. We do have map control at the moment. We have like all these gates, so I'm looking to kind of fight on the snail. Based on this kind of positioning though, I'm kind of the higher warrior that will block Checks' head. And you can see I kind of play that by going up here. So that way if Stripes comes down, it kind of, they can't really kill Checks. And that works out because our Abs kind of comes in and takes that right side. So we do regain the snail control, and we all kind of position correctly for it. So this is a very good example of teamwork. And then the moment I get pressured out because I have to leave, I go back up, and that allows our guys to get out there. So I think that also is kind of like a good example of positionally. I was only playing positionally there. There was no tech that had to be done. I just had to tap the button to be very solid, and that positionally it worked out. Yeah, so we can keep playing. I'm coming over to try to help with the queen and this warrior. We almost kind of both die, but works out. So yeah, we did get 2 picks, so now we can kind of spread out. We are in a very dominant position here. I really like this position. I think it maybe have been better for me to I am playing the vanilla warrior, so there's an argument that this is nothing I would have done, but maybe I could have done a more aggressive motion to try to get up here to really help the queen, because as you'll see, we kind of all die. I think I was looking somewhere else is what the problem was, but we 2 die and the queen dies. That's a huge swing in terms of the gameplay right there. Yeah. And then here, this is kind of goes to the conversation I was having earlier. I opt to get speed because I was like, oh, we have a warrior, we have the objective going and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, we could take the time to get speed, but then we get wiped. And I think it probably would have been better for me to have tried to get onto this gate or tried to distract, so that way Checks had less pressure on him at the moment to not get wiped being that last warrior. Because as a, you know, even with being a drone, you being there can kind of threaten warriors and make them not want to go for those plays. So I think getting speed here is a mistake by me, actually. Alright, so we get the speed. I run right into a warrior, not the best use of that speed life. I know our queen is pathing to this gate, and I probably should have went through this way to the left. It's a lot safer. We can pick up this berry. Instead, I go through the middle where there's all these warriors, the queen coming. Yeah, not the best. Not the best drone pathing. So here, very first thing, so, and this is something that I don't think has been discussed too much, is when you are looking to recover as a drone, there are kind of like, in my opinion, and people who watch this will correct me if I'm wrong, there are kind of like 3 things you want to do. There's one, you need to get a berry. If you don't have a berry, you lose so much pressure in whatever you're trying to do because they know that there's no way you get out. So first thing I do is generally always try to get a berry unless it's extremely dire, whatever situation's happening. The second thing is staying alive versus warriors. This can take like 2 different forms. For example, one of the forms would be like taking ideal pathways that minimize risk. So in the first example, right, I took an extremely dangerous pathway through this middle and then got easily picked. So I failed in both regards. I didn't grab a berry and I didn't path in a very smart way to allow me to not die. The third thing is kind of picking positions that enable or help your queen out. And that will be shown more later. So I think this next drone life, I do much better. First thing I do, drop down, grab that berry. And now we're kind of matching the queen. You see, I'm kind of staying high because I see we have abs down here and I want to be up high and enable the queen. Do a little bump here to prevent abs from immediately coming out closer to us. And that's kind of like what I can say with like positionally helping the queen. Because day map, right, I'm going to take a break. I'm talking a lot. So I just had some tea with some caffeine in it, so we're a little hyper, but it works out. Shout out to Mickey for giving me the tea. Anyways, so with the drone, it's kind of like picking positions that help, right? So I know that our queen is going to go left to get to this gate, right? And their warriors are either going to follow the queen through the wrap or are going to come through middle. So me positioning me here gives me an opportunity to maybe bounce a warrior, bounce a queen, slow them down to give my queen less pressure to actually and the ability to tag this gate. So you see here, I'm positioned here. We bounce this warrior. And you see that warrior would have been like here or something, or would have been even closer to prevent the queen from coming in. So it did help a little bit. It's again hard. It's lockout. Lockout is very hard, especially on day map. And then I get in the gate to try and go in. I think maybe because abs was already down here, it probably would have been better for me to bump this and then jump up here. I think that's what I tried to do, and I might be just messed up the jump. But being up here, right, this queen would have had to have been afraid of me bumping them or doing something. So I think better positionally as a drone would have been here for me. And that's just kind of unfortunate. We'll see where we go here. We know that our queen's going to go left. I'm positioning low now because we have abs up here to position high. Our queen goes right instead. And this is what I talk about, maybe choosing better paths to live better. I kind of put myself in a warrior pincer here that's like pretty unescapable. I do hit a kind of crazy drone bump. Like, look at this kind of stuff. You know, it hits the bump and then it goes around. You can see kind of like how you can kind of dodge these warriors is kind of doing what I call like a loop-de-loop. So they're gonna go I go past, go around, go left. They go past, I go around to the right. Eventually he, you know, figures it out. But that delaying of just like 3 seconds, he's here and he's not over here on my queen, you know? Being that annoying drone can help out your queen so much in a lockout, more than anything, like almost anything else. It's not, we don't want every drone here queuing up to get in the gate. You need to be here, you need to be here, you need to be like down here sometimes, over here. You can be very annoying and very good at stopping queens and stopping warriors. And you see, even Tyler here was positioning to kind of sour this warrior. It's just unfortunate that V decided to take the bump instead of pushing, and I think that warrior might have actually died had it pushed, but regardless, yeah. So I think big things in that game were I made a couple more risky decisions that I probably should not have done as that kind of like that safe vanilla warrior, which kind of led to us getting wiped. And I think my drone play was a pretty good example of like showing how you can slow down enemy warriors and slow down enemy queens. That kind of give V some more space to kind of breathe in that lockout situation. So that's the overall summary I would give to that game. There weren't too many like positional things that I think I messed up on. I think instead it was a lot more of like, you know, there's some tech mistakes as I'm learning this new tap style, which I think for a VOD review, if you see a tech mistake, I don't think it's necessarily something you should be focused on, because the tech mistakes will get better as you go through. I think better to look at your positional, where you are on the map. Are you doing something that makes sense with your role and all that kind of stuff? So now we're gonna move on to our meat map here, and we'll see how this one goes. So I believe I was vanilla here too. I was not running berries. I was running the you know, the legend more than likely. Alrighty, we get up. Yep, go straight to the thing. Alright, I forgot. We're gonna watch through it first. And I'll get to discuss some ledging tips from that I know based on other conversations. Alrighty, yeah, so actually a very close game. We were 2 berries out at that point in this kind of situation. But let's go to the beginning. Alrighty, okay, so I'm gonna be the vanilla warrior. We're getting out left. And fastest path to get to the ledge of the other hive is, of course, the going through the wrap here. What you want to do, of course, is look and see if the other Self-warrior is doing that. Here, Daphne kind of didn't see that I decided to wait here to see if she was going and I get a good pick on her. That's a very important kill right there. I think ideally both warriors kind of sit here and eventually one person kind of to juke the other one based on how fast the drone runners are. But like that is kind of like a very big swing in our favor already because they don't have a warrior. So I think that was a really good positional play by me. You sit there for a couple seconds, see what the other warrior is going to do. If they go under you, you might get a pick. It really just depends on kind of how fast the drones are running and all that. Yeah. So positionally for, I think, meat map, generally you are going to want to sit here to prevent from drones from coming through this way. Here I'm backing off a little bit because the queen is here. I'm playing a little scared only because I know my tech's been a little funky today. So I back off early, but I'm still ledging. And this one, I kind of noticed what I was doing. I tend to go a bit too low, I think, when I ledge. Like, this is a weird movement for me to do. It's an okay movement. So generally when you're ledging, you're not going to be moving forward, because if you move forward, it's very easy for the drone to get past you, right? And the biggest thing you want to do is always be like between the drone and something. The problem is, by doing this like motion, I have now kind of put myself in a pincer between this guy and this guy, and if they coordinate well, I die. So I get bumped, and that prevents, I get bumped again, and that prevents me from like being able to actually ledge properly. So instead, I think I probably could have let that berry go through and get a better positional and wait for this guy to see what they're gonna do. I mean, I got bumped twice. It's kind of a little hard to predict, but I could have much played that a little bit better. All right, so now meat recovery is very weird. I frick up here, I think. So I know, right, like my queen's here, right? Protect that gate. Probably could have stayed there, but it's whatever. And I like double take 2 times. I think had I not, I'd probably get in the gate, but it's whatever. Yeah, I just messed up my bounces here. Alright, so generally the queen path, and this is why I think it's important to know about queen pathing. If they're in mid here, they're going to tag this gate, then they're going to go to one of these gates, then it's going to go to like the speed and kind of shuffle through this kind of rotation of going through mid to right to mid to left and like that kind of thing. So what you really need to do as a drone is kind of predict where your queen is going to go. So here, I kind of path. I know she just tagged that gate. She's going to go right. She's probably going to go back to mid. I probably should have grabbed this berry and gone to mid, but I think I was predicting, oh, well, the queen's right there, so she's probably going to go right. And she just got to go left, so we read that. I get a little bounce on the queen to try to help out. I still know she's going left, but I'm too far behind. I probably should have pathed back mid at this point, because as you can see, the queen was going to go mid, and then she saw me die, so now she's going left. Yeah, we're like miscoordinated on where we're going. Grab that berry. Now I see she's over here, so she's definitely gonna tag right. We would have gotten the form had she not gotten bounced here. That's a really unlucky bounce, but it's okay. She dies, so she's gonna be here, so I naturally walk over here to kind of get that. I should not have been standing on this gate where BK can very easily kill me. That is a 100% mistake. Had I just sat here, we would have had so much pressure to get out here. I could have came down here as she went through the mid. That was 100% my mistake. I should be here and not here. And these, you know, it seems like very simple. Like being here versus here, it's one jump. But being here gives so much more opportunities and flexibilities, where here I just kind of die. So I think it was very much a mistake for me to be there. So first thing first, you see how like I'm also not doing my cardinal rule of grabbing a berry, and so I'm like wandering around, unable to get up with this. So here, right, she's on right, she gets that kill, and I should have just stayed mid. I was very much like in the chasing the queen mindset and not meeting the queen where she was. I was in mid, I could have gotten up. And now I do this like weird pathing, get to get back to mid, and we're finally up. Luckily right as Tyler dies. So now we gotta go ledge, right? And that's unfortunate. I had the kill, I just turned around. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. And it results in my death. Just, you know, had I not done that. Okay. So now we read it correctly, we see she's going mid, walk down to mid. It's a little dire though, because it's one berry to one berry. It's a low berry, so I had to position kind of like down here, but also up top. And you can see this is kind of like an example of what I like, how ledging works, right? You see how I'm never going like, I'm never letting that drone kind of get past me. I'm always going back or going forward to try to get the kill. And then they just hit. a really good jump. I think that's like one of the hardest meat jumps. So good on Ron for hitting that. I didn't think he was gonna hit it first try, to be honest. And then we get a stupid queen kill at the end there. Me and V did have a conversation after this game about whether it made more sense for me to go for this like bumping queen kill. And what I said was like risk versus reward, and maybe this is incorrect, and maybe why I'm generally more of like a solid, like a less risky player, is that right? The risk of me dying is very bad. If I die, there's like no way for this berry to get stopped with like the queen, right? And they have an egg, so killing the queen only really gets one egg. It does free up our queen, but then like, you know, like the risk reward here, I think of like trying to go for, also I have to hit the stinch correctly, I think is just too great. And at the end it was really just like to do something fun at the end. So unfortunate kind of first set. Well, this is our second set. I skipped the first set because the first set was a little kind of a little stoppy. Just a little unfortunate. Yeah, so I think big takeaways for kind of like that set in general is drone play, being a good drone in recovery, of knowing where to meet your queen, getting in positions that help out your queen in that, and kind of slowing other warriors with bumps, and you know, being very annoying. And I think that's something that a lot of people could focus on as warriors and recovery. Alrighty, so that was 30 minutes. Let's go to the next game. Maybe we'll be a little quicker for this one. It's right here. So this is Morgoth picks versus the Trans Agenda. We're on blue. We'll watch through this first game. Alrighty, so that game, honestly, I think is a very good example of kind of that the never die, facilitate, and help queen kind of game style. Because I'll talk about like the different stuff that went down in that game. Alright. So standard open, we go and I get up, no one gets out mid. I decide here to go clear the snail because I noticed that our snail didn't win. I think this is fine. It's a little scary because the enemy queen is looking to maybe get on that right side column. But at this point, right, it's really looking at like escaping out that right column. The queen is here, but our queen is like also diving through and we're getting warriors out here. So I feel very safe bumping in the tunnel at this point. And you notice the moment I start going is when I see this warrior cross over and where I see the queens move. So I thought blue abs would maybe come and help me a little bit more, which they do. And am I allowed to escape? So that was a bit of a more risky kind of opening kind of strategy. But I think it was completely fine given that, you know, I was looking at this column and making the escape once I knew I needed to leave. Probably could have left. Like this second bump I think is a little bad because then they definitely get the column and there could be some more shenanigans, but I'm also generally good at like baiting stuff, so like you go this and you go back. You know, they want to keep the column and you're scared of blue abs. I think it's fine. So now, you know, facilitate getting up, we got that guy out, so I go back in the tunnel, get a little kill from a Miss J, that's nice. And you can see here I'm doing more of like the snail guarding kind of aspect of like making sure that we have control of the snail. Here I see, okay, we can maybe get a pincer, but I'm just a bit too slow. I think I hesitated here, and had I gone up like right away, like right now, you see I hesitate there. If I would have just gone and taken the other side, I think I would have been fine. So here I call to get speed, and here's a good another example. No matter what, be annoying, you know, like a queen bump. That stops the queen for like 2 seconds. And I'm still trying to get speed, so we're gonna go to this gate. It's kind of not good. So we go back to that. I probably shouldn't have just kind of rotated. I probably should have just went back over here instead. Easy recovery. And again, even with speed, I'm still playing that like snail guard kind of like facilitate snail gameplay. We can kind of sit here for a little bit until, of course, the snail will die, and then we rotate out. All right, so now 2 of our warriors died, right? Recovery mode. First thing we do, we try to stack. We get them out. You see, I'm kind of following the queen here to really assist in getting that up, and that prevents this guy from trying to do some stuff. Tony unfortunately dies, so we're still kind of recovering. And you see now the column, I was holding this column originally because of Skulls here. At the moment Skulls goes down, I go down to follow, so that way we can actually stack and prevent this from getting up. So then we get our recovery. Tyler unfortunately dies by a weird spawn kill. And you see I'm still helping with the queen, kind of facilitating here. Here I let the queen go because I see Tyler's going to come here, and if I sit there for 2 seconds, I think that allows Tyler to get the speed. I think it might actually be a little greedy because as we see the queen dies, our queen dies, and it might have been better. I think in an ideal world that was like the perfect thing to do. Because yeah, the movement's unfortunately a little funky, but I pick up a kill. Yeah, here we stack. I kind of, again, new tech, hard to stack, but we get one out. And here now, I kind of do switch roles because we have 2 people out. We're both speeds. I'm looking to maybe stop the snail a little bit, get that snail pressure back. Try to go for a swipe with the queen now that we have... Did Tyler just die? Oh, Tyler just died, yeah. I think in the moment I didn't see that death. Would have been a fine swipe with the queen, given that we had our 3 people up and we can kind of change the positions. And like, even if this guy wasn't here, this would have been a bounce ricochet. So good on Sammy to recognize to protect the queen for sure. Here's a one actually that I think was actually a mistake on my part. You know, I had this high area, but I kind of just gunned down here and give it all up. You know, like I could have stayed up here. It's much more effective for me to go here. We already have someone on Snail. Definitely want to get that. And I think, as you can see, I kind of immediately recognize that and want to rotate back around, but it's already a little too late because this warrior's here. And now we're recovering. I'm keeping this position because it prevents this warrior from coming in and getting the right side of my queen, which is why I kept it so long. And we get Tyler out. Tyler dies. And then we get we get Tony out. Tony dies. You know, like, we just never kind of fully recovered in this game. But, you know, me being alive and me putting on that pressure kind of helps here. Here I'm trying to kind of help Tyler out. We notice we won't get it, so we come back over here. I opt to go high this time. I just mess up attack, and then, you know, you can see once I die, they just kind of swarm the queen. So I think here is a very good demonstration of how you can kind of be that very solid warrior and kind of like help your queen, really facilitate and get other people out. I stacked when I needed to. I held the columns when I needed to. We just had a lot of unfortunate deaths at once, like people got up or, you know, all that kind of stuff. But honestly, a very close game. Both queens on last. We had Snail control at the beginning. And like neither team really got wiped or at any point. They were winning, of course, but what can you do? So we take it to dusk. And I had a sick clip in this game that I'm going to clip later, but for now we'll just watch it. Yeah, and I think that last game also demonstrated that even with speed, you can be like that more positional game style, and really still do really well. All right, so I get out. I immediately position towards mid to help with the Snail. Oh wait, no. We're just gonna watch it through. I forgot we're supposed to do that first. Ooh, this one's gonna be good. I can talk about Snail clearing. This game goes on pretty long, if I remember correctly. But I think it is a good one to kind of watch and look at. We hit a clip. Yeah, so honestly, a very interesting and fun game, and we'll talk. There's a lot of things that I'm thinking of to talk about. So generally, if you're getting up safe on dusk, you need to do two things. You need to make sure your speed gets out. And at this point, I know my speed is going to get out because the guy that's coming out left already has moved. So that's good. And then I'm the vanilla warrior that's going to be clearing the snail. So I start pathing towards mid. I think it's a little weird for me to go up and do that. And I know I tend to do that when it's quicker to go this way. For me, that's more of a queen habit because you can dive so quickly that I can just go. Probably would have been better for me to take like this path, if you can see my mouse cursor, directly to snail instead of doing this up and around part because it's wasting time. But here's a good example of, I think, what people need to do when you clear snail. Is you look, I approach the snail from the very top. I don't do any like 45-degree things or from the sides. You'll see every time I clear snail is either when the guy is getting eaten or I approach it from the top, because the drone is going to want to jump, and their jump is going to take them directly up. So most of the time they will jump into you. I think I could also have stayed on snail, but I was still a little focused on that whole like making sure we're getting people out thing. So I was being a little that. We can see here again, right? I approach it from 45, but when I get to that point, like I can't get bounced because I'm still directly above the snail, right? And I think that's very important because it prevents any counterplay from, I mean, they can like jump off early and jump at you, but just doing this makes it, I think, a little bit safer. And they should be jumping early, but if you notice they're not, then you can kind of, play a little bit easier. Yeah, and that's a good, I think I should have been more on snail here. Instead I'm like in this weird position, which I don't think really helps anything. Even just being down here, over here, I think is safe at this point. And then I kind of go into this pincer, think I can escape it, but then I think Marnie gets a really good ricochet kill on me, which I think was very good. Can't complain about that one. So here, right, is a decision. I could get speed, I could come up vanilla. I opt to come up vanilla because it's very quick. I see that our queen is positioning this way, go through the wrap, go to left gate, I get up very quickly. And there wasn't time for Tony, who has speed, to get there either, and he actually gets popped. So I think a very good idea for me to get up that vanilla and get up very quickly. And Tyler gets popped too. We would have been wiped had I not came up vanilla. So very, very good. Here, again, more facilitation, getting people out, kind of gameplay. And here we finally actually do kind of like a more aggressive play of like preventing this form, which I think is really good. And I did that because, we had Tony, we have Tyler coming out soonish. We did not really fear that it would be bad. Again, here's another instance of me clearing from the top. You see, I'm directly above that snail. Every time, every clear, the same thing, directly above, to prevent as much counterplay as possible. So I'm actually last here. I want to kind of escape. I think Marnie should have definitely held me here as last warrior, but then I see that she left. So then boom, I stayed a little bit long still, but I leave. I'm like, I'm getting the heck out of here. Here's just kind of some snail fighting gameplay, I guess. It's like funky on both sides. Get a good kill on Sammy. Get a good kill on Colette there. Yeah, but here's a good, we'll talk about that play in a minute. Here's a good thing about, like, so we're kind of shifting the roles a little bit, but when you're on this kind of like dusk snail retake situation, you generally always want someone on this top platform and someone down here. And I, as the vanilla like safe warrior, have generally been going more down here because I can do that kind of role. So you see here at the beginning, I go down, position here, Tyler's up here, we got the queen here, I go back up once Tyler leaves, but I'm still down here, the queen's here, so I feel safe to go down there. Tony probably should not be in this position, but that's whatever. And I'm still down here. Now it's risky because we don't have anybody here, and you see I immediately start rotating around so that we can get that top area back. And then here I see Tyler already went down, so I can go back up. Tyler goes back up, so I decided to take an even higher position. You can kind of see we're working together where even though we haven't established these kind of set roles, we're reacting and playing off each other in a good way. Tony is now down here. Tyler's here, so I'm taking an even higher position when I see that happening. And I go for a swipe. The moment I go for a swipe and go low, Tyler goes up, and I see Tony's down here, so now I'm here trying to take that kind of thing. And here I'm trying to play off of this. I fly into a pincer, it gets a kill. I maybe should have not, but I will retake this, but I should also be watching the queen, and I probably could have, I didn't think the queen was going to push out there because it's a dangerous push out. You know, it's a very hard prediction there, I think. And it does result in our kill, but it also results in some other people dying, and it's kind of funky. But then Tony gets a good kill, so I don't feel bad. Here's another instance of very quick recovery. I see this, they take my berry, but jump down here, boom, I'm instantly out again. That was like a 2-second recovery. Very, 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 very strong. So now I see I die, it's unfortunate. Here I opt to get speed actually because I see that I think we're going to recover pretty quickly given the game state. And we do, we get to out mid really, really, really quickly. So yeah, here I'm kind of guarding the queen because our queen is on last. And then you get to see some tech flubs. This is a really cheeky kill. I think this kind of goes on to something else of like changing your own, you know, the enemy is reading what you're doing, right? Here they're reading that I'm just kind of trying to live and survive against this warrior. Alice probably isn't thinking that I'm going to go for like a swipe at her, right? So being able to kind of naturally just shift that kind of mindset and be like, oh, now we can go for this kill even with this guy approaching me, I think is very strong. And it can catch people by surprise for sure. Yeah. And again, look back at this situation. Tyler is low here. Tony is up here with the queen. And I am now making that more aggressive position above. And it gives us that kind of layered approach to the thing. And we're doing this naturally. We're not like calling it. We're kind of calling it out. I'm saying I'm high and they're working together. But it allows me the opportunity to do the plays like that where we get 3 kills right away. I don't think we respond to the wipe good enough. We all went to left gate, and so someone gets out mid, and we probably should have, spread out better. And then I get killed in a stupid way. And then unfortunately, this guy getting out allows for Tony, or allows people to get out here, and they get, 2 out pretty quickly. But we're wiped now. Get out mid, so I'm up. And we're going to try to help the queen, and that's successful. And then, yeah, that's just an unfortunate death. But I think for this one, some of the big things were having, everyone knowing kind of like where they should be, like the whole one person low, one person medium, one person high, allows for really good gameplay. I generally see a lot of people clumping in this area, but having that one extra person up here, I think provides so much more value. And you know that the role switched based on who was able to get up there and who was already in that lower position. And I think it was good gameplay from all of us to kind of recognize that. Yeah, I think I'll do one more game. I want to do the one more set, and then I'll call it quits. This was, where's the poll? I don't know how this one went. I think this one was okay. We'll see. We lost every game, but I think a lot of the games were competitive, and I think as you look, there's still a lot to glean from the gameplay that we had. So we won one game. We didn't lose every game. We won one. But yeah, let's see how this one goes. I was definitely a little tired at this point. I can tell in my gameplay I'm like tired. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yep. Alrighty. This game I think is interesting, right? Because We do actually break out of a lockout, which I do credit V for. It was very, very, very good, actually, gameplay. Yeah, we actually won mid a lot, I think. This one was a little funky. So this is, I made a decision to kind of try to play more towards Snail because I did see that Tony came to our gate. But then we're both here. I think I'm making maybe the wrong decision because I die here. I'm not sure about this one. I think because I thought that guy was gonna try to like bump or do something. So then I go down to do that. You see here this gameplay. I'm a little bit more tired. There's a lot more indecision. I'm like going down and I'm going up, and I'm like, I don't know what to do exactly. What's going on? And that indecision kind of gets me killed because then I take like this weird try to pincer and then get out, and then I just get pincered. It's like not good. We are all kind of like really low on the map though. So here I recognize there's nothing else for me to do really except get speed. So then I grab speed. I recognize Queen is going left. And I just barely get popped. There's probably a better way for me to have done that. I probably should have went. There's a safe path. Instead of doing this jump, you go this way and you go around. It's slower, but I think it was a lot safer than this kind of risky stuff. You see, I'm playing more risky. I'm not playing as safe. And you can see here, I do the exact same thing. This time it's okay though, because it results in the warrior dying. So I'm fine with that trade. Here I misread where V is going. I think V could have just stayed at this gate, but that's whatever. But V comes back around and we're fine, so I get up. I'm the only vanilla again, last warrior. Gotta play that super safe, get people out game style. Here it's a little hard because I'm not really positioned in the greatest place right now. Opportunity to clear Snail. We're 3, which is good. We are kind of, I'm not really doing my goal of looking at the Snail, unfortunately. We're all kind of clumpy. This game definitely was worse in terms of my gameplay. I should probably be at the Snail at this point. We have 3. Instead, Tyler kind of solo fights at it and then dies, which is unfortunate. And I'm being a little more flip-floppy in what I'm doing, which I don't think really is conductive to the team's help at this point. But then Tony's kind of on the Snail, which is good. I get bumped in a weird way, which is unfortunate. I call for, here's the thing, because I'm playing that, more vanilla, recovery game style, the moments I call for speed kind of get us killed sometimes. Here I'm like, okay, let's get speed. We have 2. Tony dies, so we have 1 vanilla. It's looking a little weird. The other vanilla dies and we're wiped. Just because I call for speed there. I don't know. It might be the objectively correct decision if you just have a team of everybody's really, really good. But I think given how our team has been functioning, I think I just had to come up vanilla to really have that stability for the team. And then I die in this gate anyways with the speed. So it wasn't even worth it at the end of the day. Yeah, we can see here droning. I get out. Yippee. Get a good queen kill. That was a really good V. We get out. Now we got to be that more recovery kind of position again. There's an opportunity to clear the Snail here. Here's some tech mess ups where I can't properly stack and that causes us to get killed. That's my fault. It's better had I been able to do that U here. There's that U pattern. That U, I'm trying to do more aggressive or more what's it called? Tricksy kind of stuff. More tech reliant stuff when maybe my tech wasn't there. Whereas a good player could clear this, come back up. Instead I hit this platform, try to come up, take a swipe, try to come up again, miss both times, and then, and that's me trying to do more fancy stuff, which doesn't really work out. And instead now you can see I kind of do that. Have to push out to save the queen here. I normally wouldn't. And then you see here I take the column to kind of allow us to have these kind of things go down a little bit. Again, missed tech again. Would have been a pincer, but kind of thing. But I'm in the right position, you know? Like, that was the correct place to be. I just dropped too low. I predict that V's going to go to left gate. I get killed here. Me getting killed here is a little funky, for sure, but not horrible. I get out. And V gets unfortunately bumped. It happens, you know. I would like, had they waited maybe a little bit more for my help, but it's, you know, it's the best you can do. Yeah, so that one you can see as going through the day, you get tired, you start doing more mistakes and stuff like that. But if you still maintain positional, like good positional, I think you still like play in a very strong manner, you know. I also maybe was tilting myself a little bit, which is not a good mindset because then you play worse and you tilt yourself even more and it's not good. All right, meat map. That's just, that was bonkers on Jeffrey's part. I was like, wow. Yeah, that was a very quick one. So we'll go to that. We'll be able to go over the mistakes really quickly. Alright, we get out. Jeffrey do some crazy shit. I go up. Kind of have to. If I go right, I get put into a pincer. So then I go to immediately to kind of stop the form mid and go ledge. So now we're ledging. I screw up my tech and Jeffrey gets, like I didn't want to be there. I wanted to leave, so that. But I recognize Queen's gonna tag right gate, go through mid, and then go that way. So that's good. Going to help the ledge. I kind of. I get a weird Queen kill. Yeah, I messed up on the ledge there for sure. You see how that's like, I went forward when I normally shouldn't go forward. So I went forward and that allowed them to get past me and then you can't really do anything to prevent them. And then I just, again, go forward and kind of miss this drone, so. And then I thought I had a kill here, but that was so close. And I didn't do it alone, you know, I had my drone here to help. But, you know, dying there is bad. You know, you can't really do too much, and then, yeah, blind dies. It's like, whatever. You know, it happens. Games happen. Yeah, so that one was actually quick. We could do the last one, too. $2.19. Alrighty. This is actually against the people that won the tournament, so I don't know how we took a game off them, but sure, I'm not complaining. Wow, I just noticed what happened in the tunnel. What the heck? How did he roll under the berry? And then freaking baller bumped by Yeah, both Tyler and Connor are like, what the heck? That was so good. I didn't even notice that happened. Nice. Ugh. Ugh. Ah. Nice. Nice. Upset. Yeah, so what made us win that game? I think here I do some, early pressure on that. I could have maybe stayed down there and make sure that we really got the kill, but then that crazy stuff happens. Here I'm trying to facilitate Snail. Again, I take this position only because Tony was here. We have this, right? So Tony can provide some support. They missed their J, which is very unfortunate. But now we have Snail pretty much out of the tunnel. And we have a very strong lead over here. So Snail's moving for free. And there's some shenanigans. I'm in a bad position, so we move to try to help the Snail. And that's such a close one. And same here. That was like, he must have been a pixel higher than me. So those are just like fights that were like fine fights for me to take, but just like very close, Quick recovery, see the queen. Look at that. You gotta look at that. There's finessing on him. And I think really having that objective pressure, I think, helped a lot more in this game. And then I die like that. That's again just weird tech stuff. Here out for speed. This is a good point, I think, because they have so few warriors, and we've been playing pretty well in this game. And I naturally now left a queen, so we can go down, get that good kill there. We're preventing. I wanted to stick the ceiling. I would have killed Billy had I done that. But again, Preventing forms. Again, I messed up. I did not want to mount the ceiling, want to go this way. So it's a lot of sometimes my gameplay is very much like just tech messed ups like that. So it's a little unfortunate. But again, I mean the killing Billy is not like the goal here. The goal is run the lock, keep the lockout. And I think we're doing a pretty good job about that. I try to do some shenanigans, doesn't really work. I see Tyler dies, so again, I'm not going for crazy stuff. I just want to get that snail pushing, and I get a good push-out kill there. And that allows us to kind of seal the deal. So I think fundamentally what changed in this kind of set was, one, we won a lot of our warrior duels, and two, we had that snail objective like the entire games, and I think that was really good. Oh man, this game is fun. Me and Connor had so many weird fights and interactions this one. It was really fun. Yeah. If you take good positions, people will just fly into you. Like, it's that strong. That was not what I messed up this game, now I remember. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember having this game, so. Yeah, so this opening thing, I tend to get bounced off. I don't know if I go too slow or I think I go too slow generally, and it kind of delays the safe open, which is kind of scary for night map. So I think it's really important for me to watch, like, where did stripes come from? They literally fell like this and got to the berry pile a little bit later than me, but bounced me in a way that prevented me from forming, and that's not good. So gotta be aware of that. Here is a play, normally I would have sat here, right? And I would have protected the snail and fought this guy. But I saw that Connor was coming out here. And I was like, I know exactly where Connor's going. Gonna go here to try to get that kill. So I positioned there. He's like, oh man. So, sometimes there's the correct play. Not the correct play, but positionally, you want to be here to be able to facilitate snail push, but you do have to be reactive in the moment and notice that whole, Connor's going to come out here and try to do this crazy crap and try to kill my queen. And if I can just, normally it's bad to hold the queens back, but noticing that kind of thing puts Connor under pressure and allows us to not die. Very good, very good. And again here, holding the queens back is bad, but this warrior has nowhere to go, gets a cool kill. And now we kind of resume, well, we don't have to resume that position. Now we're kind of facilitating the snail push. Again, another Connor interaction. The berry prevented me from doing that. That's kind of crazy. And that's watching the berry and making sure that would have been fine. Because otherwise we would have bumped and it would have died to checks. So, unfortunate play. But let's see our recovery here. Where do we go? We grab that berry. It's a bit slow. Probably could have just gone down here and grabbed that. So let's see where we go. And then we take a safe path. That's good. Good recovery. A habit I tend to do is if I don't know where I'm going, I will tend to just rise and get here. And it's safe, but like it also slowed me down to going here where I could have threatened Connor. You see, had I not did that rise and then gone down, it's like you want to just naturally get higher to get safe and be secure. But it will, you know, it's when you're dealing with these kind of very minute kind of gameplay decisions, stuff like that can, you know, make or break, you know, Connor getting out and Connor doing some crazy crap to your queen. Again, I do the same thing. Normally I wouldn't hold the queens back, but Connor's forming here, so I go back. That forces him here, and you can now see we kind of got people on one side, and I'm more preventing, and this is like a gameplay decision that maybe some people would disagree with. Some people probably would have been like, okay, go through the wrap, go down here, and get to the right side of these guys. I think we have map control, right? We want to get recovered, so I'm going to just have us hold this map control, trade the snail progress for recovery. And you can see Connor does try to break through, we get bounced out, and now we got our two people up again. So I think, you know, makes sense. And here is I think the worst decision I made the entire tournament. On last warrior, I try to go for a snail clear, and that wipes us. That is the worst decision I made the entire tournament, by far. That causes us to get wiped. It was a play for very little value, like, and that basically loses the game. So, like, I needed to recognize that, oh, we formed, but then we died so quickly after the form. You need to stay alive and not do that kind of stuff. Yeah, that just basically loses us the game. And it sucks to make a decision like that. That basically loses the game. But, you know, there's those make or break moments that can really, like, prevent that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah. Although you can kind of see I am still look at this drone gameplay, right? It's like being annoying still, you know, like here I'm threatening to go mid. We're still living against this guy, going up here, diving here, bouncing here, going around, bouncing here, prevents that warrior from doing that. It's just he dies by getting followed with the route. Yeah. So I could 100% say I am the reason we lost that game. Me taking that decision to try to clear the snail on last warrior, around other warriors, definitely is something that made us lose this game. It just sucks, you know. But it's something to know. It's like, okay, always recognizing, even if I'm going for a snail clear, how many of us are alive? How many of us are dead? Do we need to be doing this snail clear? Is it important? It's important to clear the snail there because it's going to get on the rope again and it's going to be hard to control. But we're also dead and down, you know, so we need to not do that. So we go to dusk here. We'll watch through it. I get up. Tyler goes mid here, which is a little weird, but I think it works out, if I remember correctly. Yep. So I am the snail guard. I also want to help Tyler get out, so that's why I'm helping Tyler. He gets a good little kill there, which is good, so then we get out left. I'm still helping. Recovery, I'm in a pincer, but they missed their J. And that's unfortunate, I missed the side J. Wow. But we recover very quickly, because my recovery is very good. And we're 3, so I can try to go for a more aggressive play for once. And it works out. Connor tries to do aggressive play on me and pumps. Yeah, I think on day I did pretty good at facilitating snail. But here on dusk, I'm playing high to try to recover. And it doesn't always work out because then we don't have that snail pressure, which I think was really good in that first map. But also Connor's scary. We need to make sure that he doesn't just run away with the game, you know. Well, we're doing good here. Ooh, Tyler. Yeah. Tony gets a good kill. What am I doing? I'm kind of just waiting, I guess, to recover, yeah. Now I'm going to help Tony with this. Go high again because Connor's looking at my queen. Yeah, I guess something I will say is I definitely ended up playing more of a reactive game style in this game. Which, I mean, like that. That was, let's look at that. That was sexy. Hold up. Bait, go back up, kill him. That was good. And I think maybe that being more proactive in this one would have been better. But I don't know. Here we're really pushing snail. I like this. We are winning here. Do we get wiped? Is that how we lose this? Oh, I'm last in the tunnel. Yeah, I need to leave, unfortunately. Okay, we get it out. Probably should have left earlier for sure. Now we're helping Queen. Take Queen's head. Tony should have went to left gate, but whatever. But I'm still, you know, let's help the Queen get the recovery. We are kind of just like losing snail though. I get a good kill there. We get Tony. We get Connor's last. Gets a weird push out. Yeah, I think calling for speed here is good because we're kind of like churning vanillies. Okay, I'm speed, so I think I'm gonna be trying to do more play kind of stuff. We'll see. Yeah, I think we do naturally. This team was good about like naturally just switching roles when we see people doing things. Like Tony is now snail guarding when I was doing it at one point. Now he's high when I'm high, and we don't really need to be on the snail. Okay, well that was me being tired for sure. Alright, we're 2. Let's look at my recovery. Oh, this is the one where it was like soft famine and we didn't kind of like recognize it too well, I don't think. Or like I was having difficulties getting up. Yeah, right now we're soft. Oh my god, that would have been the end of the game. I forgot about that. You see, just like the little tech, he's peeking. Just like, had I stuck that, the game ends, you know? Like, definitely, like, tech is important for sure. Like, practice your tech, make sure your tech's good. Because this game, it's like, it can be win or lose. Right there was win or lose. I could have made the game-winning play, you know, right there. It's not a game-losing play, because we still have, you know, warriors, we have an egg. It's not a losing play, but it could have been the game-winning play. That's unfortunate. And we get a speed, which is really good. We really need to be on the snail. Yeah, I don't think V should be on the snail. What am I doing? Did I get out? No. I forgot that this was supposed to be me. What do I do? I get an A. I get a berry. I try to go left gate because we have people here, but I don't get out. I think I contemplate getting speed, but there's like no way I'm actually gonna do that. And we have to play on the snail. But we also have to recover people, so like it's a little difficult, you know. And then yeah, that's a game losing play. I miss my side J, causes me and Tony both to die. That's another like tech, like we just lose the game because of the tech there, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, so overall, I think big takeaways for me are that poll, I think if I am fulfilling a more vanilla, you know, we stay recover, we don't do too many crazy stuff, is for me when I'm calling for speed has to be very much when we're in a very like advantageous position, because there were a couple of moments that I called for speed where I think it maybe had not been the best situation, because if we don't get me up, then we kind of lose. Working on tech for sure, making sure the side J's are clean, the sticks are clean, the J's themselves are clean. I think positionally I played really well. I think recovery on meat map could have been better, of like me predicting where the queen would go instead of like chasing her. I wasn't really chasing, I just was having a hard time figuring out where the queen was going. My ledging on Twilight was also kind of bad, and I got cleared a lot, but there were some weird bumps as well. And I think our Dusk was actually, we probably should have played Dusk more, because I feel like our Dusk was pretty decent on how we like rotated roles and did different things. Yeah, so that would be my personal VOD review. Hopefully, if anybody was looking to get some General Warrior comments or General Warrior play, this would be helpful to them. Feel free, I'll probably post this in strategy, and feel free to talk about things that I said maybe that are incorrect, because of course I'm not 100% correct in everything. Maybe I say something and then someone will disagree with me and say, no, actually it's probably this. I think you made the right play or made the wrong play. Yeah, and I'm more of a queen main, but I like warrior, and I think having people watch, someone who's also not 100% crazy on tech, but can still hold very good positional value and very good positional play, I think will be helpful. Yeah, so thanks for listening, and hopefully this helped you. Bye.